Welcome to the Peter Legg Podcast. Now, here's your host and mentor, best-selling author, internationally acclaimed speaker, and community leader, Dr. Peter Legg. This podcast is brought to you by Coast Capital.
Well, welcome to Fridays with Seniors. What a great name. My name is Peter Legg, and it's a privilege for me to be here today to talk to Navi, Hara, and Zabeena Rahiman. Did I got that right? Yes, I do.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And they're going to share some intimate details about their roles in their companies that can be of great assistance to seniors, certainly in our province of British Columbia. So, ladies, welcome. One of you is a branch manager of Coast Capital Savings. That's Navi. And Zabeena, you are the Shine Navigation Lead of Senior Services Society of British Columbia.
Yes. Hello, Peter.
And I'm glad you're here today and on this broadcast, so I appreciate that very much. The first question is, Navi, share with us today, what are the ways depositors of your bank clients can access their accounts? What's the best way for them to access their accounts?
Yeah, of course. Hi, Peter. Thank you for having me here. This is my honor to be back at the Seniors Podcast one more time. As you introduced me, I have been working with financial institutions for almost 15 years now. So, the ways that seniors can, or any members can access their accounts, or depositors can access account, in past there were usually in person, come to the branch. ATMs were the most common ways how people used to access their accounts via checks or cash transactions or the ATMs. But as the technology is advancing, these days more and more common ways to access accounts is digital banking, online banking, whether that is through your computers, logging into your financial institution's website, or through your mobile apps that you could do that. Even the ATM cards are more digital in terms of you can just use it with a tap rather than entering the PIN every time. Point of sale was also a common way in past. Now also point of sale, when you can use your card in stores, you can use the tap feature on it. When we talk about online banking, I also want to briefly mention how important it is for us to access our, accounts online and safely. It is on the account holder to use the accounts diligently. Your financial institutions have various ways on how they can help you protect your accounts in terms of when they put limitations on how big your password needs to be, special characters. So there is a certain, key characters they ask you to put in your password. You have to get creative when you're creating your password. Do not use your information like date of births or your phone numbers or common piece of information that can be accessed on social media. We all share our birthdays on social media. So, you have to protect yourself on social media. Do not use personal information. Do not be publicly sharing your information that you use in your passwords. Get creative. It's not just what characters you use, it is also the length. My tip is, if they're asking you to create a minimum of 8 to a maximum of 13 digit, use 13 digits. It's the length matters. Bigger your password, harder it is to guess. The other ways you can protect your online banking information is, staying away from public Wi-Fi's. When we have when we access our banking information, whether through your cell phone, on your apps, or your computer, on public networks, you are becoming vulnerable. You're sharing your information. So some of those examples of those public Wi-Fi enterprise would be coffee shops when we're sitting in a coffee shop, or public libraries, accessing your online banking on those public networks. When you're accessing on your phone, using your own data is private. You're using your own phone's data to access your app. But when connecting to a coffee shop's network or library's network, that is public network. I would recommend staying away from public networks when using your online banking. Keeping your email safe is another way. You have to make sure not only that you're keeping your username and password for your online banking safe, but also your email safe is important, because there is dual method authentication most financial institutions have, whether that is through your cell phone number, via text, or a code sent to your email. So it's even more important to keep your email safe and get creative with passwords. I talked about how you can protect yourself on social media, not sharing too much on social media about your personal information. Another common one I have seen in recent years, which is on the rise, is staying safe on dating websites as well. We become victims on dating websites. They target, it's all a link. They start off on social media when we don't protect ourselves on social media, get you on dating websites, and I have seen our members become vulnerable and victims to dating apps scams. The other way is, right now is a tax season. Stay safe this tax season. We have seen in past where during tax season, you'll get these emails or tax scammers, leverage every means that they have at their disposal to separate you from your cash. You will receive emails in your inboxes around, we can help you fill your tax for free. We can get you your tax refund early. You get your text messages, you get these phones, they lure you with your offers on bigger write-offs. We can get you bigger write-off. So please make sure you're choosing a reliable resource when you're filing your taxes, whether that is your friends, family, or professional help. Stay safe this tax season as well.
That's good advice. Zabeena, do you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was actually making notes as Navi was speaking. So just piggybacking off what we see also in reviewing, and part of our work as housing navigators is to ask clients for 3 months worth of their bank statements. Reason being, we want to verify their income, make sure they're receiving everything that they're entitled to in terms of pensions or benefits as such. At the same time we're doing that, we're also looking at their spend pattern. Where are they spending their money? Is there some credit card debt? Is there debt owing to CRA? Is there overdraft? Are they always in their overdraft? Because when we're helping clients find housing, we want to set them up for success. So just receiving $2,000 income isn't enough. Like, we want to make sure, okay, is that staying with you for the month, or, where are you paying? So if we can see in their bank statements that kind of a debt being built up, we can connect them to debt service counseling places too, because it's not just a matter of what you're receiving, it's where is all that going. So, and the dating apps, definitely something that we see victims of fraud in our work, romance scams and such. So yeah, just diligence, really extra diligence. I think people are so trusting, and it's really detrimental and very shocking and upsetting when, when you realize you've been duped, and often losing a large amount of money in that process. Yeah.
Based on your both of your opening statements, how much of that is illegal?
Oh, all of that, the fraud piece, the scams. Yeah, we definitely do recommend that clients get involved with, notifying the RCMP, getting a file number set up. So that also will help, and I'm sure Navi will agree, that will help when they build a fraud case with their financial institution, because they do like to have an RCMP file number if they're building up a case for a fraudulent claim or claims.
Yeah. When members walk into our branches or to any financial institution, the first things first, we have them sit down, kind of try to know the story, what had happened. And of course, yes, if they have a file number, we take the file number, we ask them to fill the forms. If there is any recourse on the funds, we try and help them recourse the funds. But if they have really taken out cash from their accounts and given physical cash to someone else, there is no recourse on that. So diligence is important. One of the other common one I have seen is where members receive calls from their loved ones, or as it seems it is from their loved ones, it's really not, and they say they are at a police station, they need to be bailed out or something, and members rush to they also not only just come to request the amount, they're also prepared to answer some of those questions for them, because they know financial institution is going to ask around what's the purpose of the withdrawal. So they prepare them, oh, your financial institution is going to ask you this question, maybe just tell them you're doing renovations. March, where February, spring, summer is coming, it's very common for people to do renovations. So it's very believable reason that, oh yeah, they may be renovating something, but they are being prepared to answer that. So it's important when you're walking into your financial institution requesting or making any sort of request to be honest. If somebody is asking, that's not breaching your privacy, that's us protecting you, doing our due diligence, because it may be your first time, but really it's not our first time. It's not the first time we are seeing it. The reason why we are asking that extra question is really to make sure you're not being the victim and you really know where you're spending your money.
Is there one or two ways in which the seniors can be pre-armed with some of this information of how to protect themselves?
Of course, online, the first one is, when we're using this technology, computers, having some sort of protection on your computer or on your devices is very important. Not clicking on links in your emails or text messages that you receive from unknown sources, people you don't know or trust. I would say also your financial institution's websites usually have a lot of information on how you can protect yourself digitally or in general, even on phone calls. Most financial institutions do seminars, and I'm sure Senior Service Society does something like this podcast or seminars and workshops where there's education not only on financial literacy, but on fraud prevention or cleaning up your digital footprint and stuff like that. So attending those and reaching out for help and asking questions. You can always reach out to your advisor when you're signing up for your online banking or any time. I do that all the time here when we have members walking in and we're setting them up for their online banking. We go over, do's and don'ts. They're usually brochures, there are materials on the websites. And I think the best way to start is reaching out to your advisors or Senior Society as well. We have a lot of workshops there too.
Yeah. Something that I would also recommend is doing your banking on one device only, whether it's your computer at home or your phone. Like just try to avoid doing your banking on more than one device in case one is hacked. So choose the safest device you can in your home to do your banking is what I would recommend as well.
That's very good advice. Who's able to discover that faster? The person that's being scammed or the person that's initiating it?
I would say the scammers are the ones that are really so much more advanced in doing this, detecting devices and figuring. It just feels like they're always one step ahead of everybody.
So what do you think is the trend that you see amongst seniors or Zabeena?
Yeah, Navi, do you want to go first or?
Yeah, well, Peter, in terms of fraud for seniors, I feel our seniors are very trusting to what Zabeena
Yeah.
said too. You know, we not we are vulnerable. We believe, we get panic when we receive that phone call. Just last week, I was helping a member where we were able to protect her just by asking that extra question. She got a message on the computer when she was using, oh, this is Microsoft, your computer has been hacked. Click on this link or call this number. She called that number, somebody answered, and they said, oh, well, you have been hacked, and for us to protect you, you need to now go to your financial institution, withdraw $10,000 and put it in this crypto machine. Then we will encrypt your money. They were using all these high level jargon that didn't make sense. Crypto machine, encrypt your money. She felt this was legit. She came into the branch. She requested $10,000. A teller asked extra question in terms of, this is not a usual transaction for you. Are you buying something today? And then she was she was smart enough to not answer us what that scammer told her to answer, but she actually told us the truth, that she received this message and they are trying to encrypt my money. We were able to sit her down, talk more, ask more questions, and we told her to reach out to our CMP and report this and not give out money just yet. But she believed them. She was like, nope, my computer is hacked and I really need to encrypt my money. And we suggested, okay, if you feel your computer is hacked, which we clearly believe it is, because they are giving you this number, take it to a place, take it to a technician, physically take your device to a technician to get it cleaned. But there is no way you need to put money in any sort of a machine to get encrypted. And we were able to save that member from being a victim and losing those 10,000, your hard-earned money.
Wow.
So one of the trends I see is we trust everybody. The other one I saw an example last year was when somebody received a phone call saying to them, it felt like it was their grandson calling, that they were in trouble, they needed money to bail themselves out, which really it wasn't. So the protection was they hung up, they called their grandson on the number they have. And they spoke to him if he was okay, and he was really okay. It wasn't their grandson calling. So, you know, being diligent in terms of when you receive this, yes, you get worried. Especially when you get something like that from your loved one, you do get worried. But you know, disconnecting and calling the number. The other one of the other things, one of the members were sharing, they have a safe word between the family. So they ask for what's the safe word. So if it is really your family member in distress calling you, they have their own ways of doing it. So I thought that was a really good idea of having that safe word, saying what's the safe word today, and if you're really in distress and it's your real family member, they would know that, and scammers won't know that.
Yeah.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Is
And
it,
some of the trends that we're seeing on our end, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is clients that are so debt and fraud. On the debt side, it's clients that are just getting into debt, just constantly paying, minimal amount of payments for credit card, CRA, uh, always being in their overdraft without realizing that, there's solutions to these problems. You don't have to keep going on like that, because as soon as the money is coming in, it's going out. So there's places that they can go to for help, such as our financial institution, or debt counseling services. And we actually just had a client, so beware of that too. Don't always search for places online, because there is apparently, Navi, I don't know if you know this, but there's through searching up debt counseling, this one client in particular just landed upon a business that wasn't legit. Just, so she just kind of went that route with them, and she ended up losing a bit of money trying to get out of debt at the same time being frauded. So just be very diligent with, the places that you're going. Make sure they're licensed, to make sure they're legitimate. Yeah, just due diligence really needed on that side, for sure.
Are there one or two things that are in stone that these seniors should know as soon as they get a phone call? They don't know who it's from. They
Yeah,
should do it. And what are they?
never click on anything, even if it's in a text message, CRA. Emails that are very popular right now. We just had CRA on a meeting with them. Just, they're never going to call anybody with a sense of urgency that they owe money or the police are coming. So anytime there's that sense of urgency, that's when you've got to slow down. Don't act on that. Just really look at what they're asking for. And, you know, if you're ever in doubt, just hang up the phone, or if you receive a text or an email, don't respond to it. Show your bank, even go to your bank if you're unsure, and let your bank know right away if you've done something. If you think you've clicked something by mistake, there may be time, to help or do something about that. Yeah.
I agree, Zabeena. To add to that, Peter, urgency, when they're showing urgency, is a great point. That's a big, big red flag. Also, another one is too good to be true. When something is too good to be true in terms of offer, click on this link, you can win this offer. Most of the retail stores or even your financial institution, do not click on it. If it is too good to be true, it actually is. The other one is if they're asking you to lie to your financial institution, what the purpose is. So they know when they tell you to go do so and so, go send this check, write this check, or go cash this check at your financial institution, go request money. They usually prepare you in terms of, they're going to ask you what the purpose of the fund is. Just tell them you're renovating, or just tell them you're buying a car. If they're telling you to lie, it's not a good idea. Don't do that. Hang up, call your financial institution, reach out to your financial institution if it is something to do with your banking first, or call a non-emergency RCMP number as well.
What is the biggest scam you've heard about, without naming names, in terms of dollars and cents?
Oh,
I've seen it in the tens of thousands in our
oh
work
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Wow.
I have
It's
seen
not
an
small.
upward of, yeah. Oh, I've seen an upward of 30,000 plus too.
Are there specific types of bank accounts that seniors can avail themselves of?
Yeah, well, most financial institutions do have some sort of senior accounts, where usually some of the perks of those are unlimited transactions, or waived monthly fee, or discounted monthly fee, free checks, free bank drafts or office checks. There are usually some waived fees in other terms, in terms of safety deposit boxes, other products and services that your financial institution has to offer usually have a discounted prices for seniors. And safety deposit boxes are great in terms of the pricing that seniors are being offered by most financial institutions, and how you can use them as well. We usually think safety deposit boxes are for valuables like jewelry or any other assets, but it's a great place to store your important documents as well. Whether it is your power of attorney documents, or whether it's your wills, not only they are fireproof, but also a first spot for your loved ones to go look, in case something was to happen to you, rather than searching the whole house looking for the documents.
Yeah, that's so true. We see that too, Navi. We see clients carrying their social insurance, the cards, their birth certificates on their person. And it's like, keep this in safekeeping. Like, it's not always now where you actually have to physically present the original document. So that's advice that I would really recommend too. Like, lock your valuables up in a safety deposit box as well. It's a scary thing when they're offloading and there's things coming out of their bags that, are valuable, and it's yeah. Those things can be locked up and should be. Agree.
Are seniors often victimized by fraud?
I would say they're probably one of the highest population because of the vulnerability and coming from so much trust that they have, as Navi was saying, and this technology, it's so sophisticated to the way things are being done that trusting that it's a piece of technology, how could that steer me wrong? Trusting that it's a message from the bank, the credit union, CRA, pure later package not delivered. I mean, so many things. And I think it's that level, and that's where they're preying on them is because of the vulnerability with seniors for sure. Yeah.
Hmm. Is there a worst case scenario? I mean, is there a really bad one that's either of you've experienced? Not personally, but I mean that you've heard about some of your members.
The dating scams are, we've had a couple in the last few months. So that's really, again, a level of trust violated there. Some money was lost, unfortunately, but yeah, it's just preying on vulnerable victims, all ages actually, but definitely in the work that we're doing here at Senior Services.
Yeah, I agree, Zabeena. Dating scam is one of the most, um, I say, difficult one to deal with, because not only they are out of on financial loss, that they have lost their hard-earned money, but also emotional loss. There is a great setback emotionally, and guilt kicking in as well. So I agree. Dating one is the one of the worst ones I have seen in terms of financial loss, emotional loss, and it is a difficult one to deal with.
Hmm. Well, this is a question for both of you. We'll start with you, Navi. Do you have any other advice that you'd like to share to this audience about our conversation today?
Yeah, I will go back to my first comment in terms of protecting yourself digitally. Be creative with your passwords, even using password manager. If it is, I understand there are so many accounts, so many passwords to remember. Do not keep the same password for every single account. Be creative. Use the length of the password given. Do not just stick to the minimum. Go to the maximum. Be creative. Do not use your phone numbers, your house numbers, your date of birth as your passwords. Protecting your devices, and not trust, and look into the red flags in terms of if it is urgency. That's really not any financial institution or CRA or immigration or law enforcement. Nobody is coming to get you unless you pay them like this amount. That's not true. Even if you owe something to CRA, they usually send letters, mail. It come in mail, and you have to mail a check to CRA's dedicated address. So always double checking if not sure, reaching out to friends and family or experts, whether that is your financial institution or your accountants, to always double check. So I think that's where we can start, not acting on it right away, and taking a moment to reflect, pause, and then make sure before you act on it.
Zabeena, you got any comments on that question?
Yeah, definitely agree with what Navi's saying. And yeah, digital banking is great. It's convenient. Don't shy away from it. It can be a great thing if used, at the same time while keeping your protection and your hard-earned money in mind. It's a fabulous piece of technology. Um, and in the work that we're doing, as I was saying, just beware. There's help also with finances on the financial piece. If your clients are struggling with debt, please talk to your financial institution or debt counselors to, get the help that you need. It just doesn't always have to be um, your money's coming in and immediately it's going out, and there's nothing in between. So, careful financial planning, talking to your financial institution, debt counselors will help you just keep your hard-earned money, where it should be with you.
My last question, I'm assuming after this half-hour conversation, this is a daily operation, goes on every day.
Yes, it is. We see many clients a day and we see different things all the time when we're looking at bank statements. So I'm looking at, not only verifying their income, but what else can I provide? What other advice can I give them in terms of managing their finances and their debt? So yeah, it is an ongoing thing.
And Navi, for you?
Oh, yes, of course. This is digital protection is, or, protecting yourself from fraudster is not one time done. If you block one number or you have created a strong password on one account, it is definitely an ongoing thing and being diligent. And as Zabeena said, these are great ways on to do banking or to do online shopping. It's convenience, especially after COVID. It is on the rise in terms of convenience, doing it at the ease, doing it safely. Do not shy away from it. The only piece of advice, be diligent whenever you are leaving your digital footprint in terms of whether that's on your online banking, online shopping, booking appointments, or social media for that matter. Be diligent. It's a great, even dating websites. There's nothing wrong in doing online dating. Just being diligent is important.
I assume there is someone at each of your operations that is available to your customers if they're in doubt.
Yeah, definitely. There is. They could call our office anytime.
Do they
Speak
ask
with
for
our
anyone special, anyone
um
in particular?
just anybody on our front desk will refer her to an information and referral specialist or one of the navigators, which that is my role as a housing navigator. Yeah, our office is open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 for anybody needing help or having any questions. By all means, we can refer them to the right place, if not help them ourselves.
And Navi, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, for us, all our branches are open, so you can walk into any of I work for Coast Capital, so if you are a Coast Capital member or you wish to become a Coast Capital member, walk into any branch and we'll be more than happy to assist you. We have frontline staff, we have advisors present in branches. Other ways you can reach out to us is through our advice center. We're open Monday through Sunday, 604-517-7000 number. Call us and you will be connected to an advisor over the phone, or you can even contact us through our website. So you can go to coastcapitalsavings.com and book an appointment that way. There is an online booking, or you can just send us a message and we will reach out to you.
Well, ladies, thank you. This has been an illuminating conversation this morning. I appreciate it very much. And I want to say this podcast is sponsored by Coast Capital Savings. And they're as much interested in keeping you safe, keeping your money safe for sure, but keeping you safe as anything. And so, ladies, you're very well spoken and you know your product. You know exactly what you're doing and how to do it and how to make it work for people. So I appreciate your time today. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Peter. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Navi. Thanks,
Thank
Zabeena.
you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoy this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review.